Hi guys, it's Alston. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a Semrush project for your website. We all know that Semrush provides so many different tools and functionalities. I will create separate videos for every single use case, but the core of the product is their projects where you can essentially connect one of your website which you want to optimize or to get more traffic, where how you can set up that website within Semrush so you can get personalized insights on data from SEO to digital marketing, competitor data, how to monitor the progress, how to fix errors, and how to monitor all the progress and all the changes you do to your website. So this video is going to be an in-depth explanation. There is a trial for SMrush. So if you are interested, you can obviously check out the trial and set up your own website following my instructions to get a better idea on how to set up projects and how to make sense of all the data it provides. So without further ado, you can see I have in the SMrush project tab, you can see I'm in the projects tab. I'm going to use my digital marketing blog as an example in this case because I haven't done any digital marketing of the site link building approach much. So this I thought it would be a good example because most of you will be in similar situation where you have a website but it might not be ranking really well or there is not much or done in terms of digital marketing, where SMrush might be a useful tool in that sort of situation. So first I'm going to create a brand new project and I'm going to click on create new project. I'm going to paste my domain. Make sure that you don't press enter all this https or www dot or n colon or anything like that. Just keep it as your domain dot whatever the extension is, so you don't confuse it. And you can create a project name. Obviously this is for your own benefit, so I'm just going to keep it something like digital marketing mind could be good. And in case if you want to share this domain with your country fellow team members or anyone like that, you can obviously do that as well. After that, just click on create project. So what now it will do is it will create a project within SMrush for you, and we will land in a sort of like an overview dashboard for this project. Basically we can tag in case we have so many different websites, so we can filter the website based on tags, or you can favorite the website in case if you want to do that as well. This is the dashboard, and all of these 11 components are the key models within the projects which you can use for your SEO or digital marketing strategy. You can use this as well. First, let me show you what are the data you actually can see within the dashboard itself. For example, the first one, basically all of these models are some of the in-depth tools which is available within SMrush. For example, domain analytics is this main tool here. And if we go into the keywords, it's going to be one of this tool. And if I go into traffic analytics, again it is going to be another main tool. If I go into backlink analytics, again it's going to be one of this main tool. So what essentially it does, it brings out some of the overview summarized data within the dashboard. But in case if you want to preview a in-depth data for any of this tool, you just click on any of this hyperlink. You can obviously see the hyperlink here, and it will take you to that particular tool section as well. So you get in a summarized view. The goal of this is to not to give you a in-depth data in the dashboard, but give you a quick eagle eye view on everything related to your website. For example, the first tab shows the domain analytic, like what are my site SEO power, what is my organic traffic look like, number of organic keyword its ranks. In a case I'm doing any PPC ad or search engine ads, what are the keywords I'm doing that, what are the total number of referring domains I'm getting my backlinks from, what are the backlinks count for my website. For example, you can have multiple backlinks from your referring domain. So one domain, that's the reason you see 2.6k backlink, but the referring domain is 252. In case if you want to switch off to a different region, you don't want to see the typical USA Google region, depending on your market and your industry, you can obviously change and see that data as well. Keyword shows some of the popular keywords which I'm ranking to. I obviously click on view full report and see full data on all the ranking keywords, but it quickly also shows the new, improved, declined, lost keywords as well for each single day. For example, if I'm hovering over November 6th, it shows that 8 of my keywords actually improved, which it means that the rank in Google has increased. New means these are some of the new keywords which was not ranking before but just now identified and started ranking. Declined in the sense it means that it was ranking in one position but it has decreased a bit on Google search. Lost essentially means that you were ranking on top 100 but it no longer is found on top 100. So you can get a quick idea in case if you see a lot of decline and lost keywords throughout this process, you obviously know there's something wrong going on in your website and you can make changes to it. And similarly, if you see more improved or new keywords on the metrics like you see here, then you know that I'm so slowly improving my website organic ranking as well. Similarly, we also get traffic analytics in case how many visitors I'm getting, number of unique visitors, all this data. We can also see the data on how much direct traffic I'm referring, referral. This is based on the SEMrush data. The much more accurate version will be if you click on Google data, now you have the option to connect your Google Analytics to this particular profile. The advantage is because Google is the official source of information or the data, so you can get those data without even leaving SEMrush. So in case if you want to see all the visitors and everything from Google, rather than going into Google Analytics, Google Webmaster Panel, all these different places, you can bring all those data into the SEMrush where it can bring direct data within their interface, and also it will use those data to give you better suggestions or better insights into those data as well. So you can just click on connect account, you will just give a sort of like a approval and you can bring those data will in within this section is also, and will give you more insights based on that as well. Backlink, same concept where it shows the backlinks or the link building growth or progress which I made for my website. It shows the authority of where most of my linking websites are going. It shows that most of my website which backlinks are coming is between 21 to 0, where I should ideally start focusing on much more authority websites. If you're a brand new website, you can immediately start getting big sites because it might be making much more difficulty, but you can get a quick idea on what are your scores. And obviously if you go into the full report, you will see much more in-depth analysis data here as well. So that is what the overview section look like. So what I'm going to do in this video is like, first I'm going to showcase you what each of this model does, how to set up a project within each of this model, and in the final section of the video I'm going to go into each of this model because each of this model takes couple of minutes or 10 minutes or something like this to actually finish that project setup. So I will go through each of this model and show you what are the data you can get, what kind of features are available within in a quick overview, so you can get an idea on what all the data which all the features SEMrush project provides for your website. So first let's start with setting of each of this model. The first one we are going to take a look into is called position tracking. Position tracking is basically means a Google SERP tracker or Google rank tracker, where it means, or it simply means that you are going to be monitoring certain keywords which you are targeting on where they are ranking on Google search engine, at what position they are ranking, what are the changes happening, how your competitors are performing. All this data is going to come through this particular model. First I'm going to click on setup, and when I click on that it will pop up a wizard kind of way. This will be the similar for all the different models. Basically it will ask us more details on how we want to set up this campaign. The first is going to be like what kind of domain you want to track. For example, if you're brand new, you don't have any complex requirement, most of you will be just taking as root domain, and that is a good one because similar to my website where I want to track all the pages which is coming from my root domain directly. I don't have any subdomain or something like that. I have a root domain. I want to track all the website ranking. Most of you will have this as a requirement, but in case if you are having an additional requirement like no, I don't want the root domain to be tracked, I want to have this particular subdomain to be tracked, you can select that. Or you want to have been tracked only this particular web page, I don't care about other web pages. I don't care about website. I only care about this web page. You can obviously choose that, or a subfolder within you, something like my blog, digitalmarketingmind.com/blog. I want to only see any URLs within that particular permalink. So I can choose that. In this case, I recommend you to keep it as root for most of you website of owners, and you have only two different options in SMRife. Either you can track on Google or Baidu depending on your need. They do not have Bing support as well. And also you can choose the device. Here you basically say, when tracking for ranking, which device you want to track the ranking from, whether do you want to be desktop, mobile, tablet. This you can also do a custom rank tracking. I will show you within the campaign based on different devices, but this just to give a starting point for SMrush. If you notice that most of your visitors or your target audiences visiting your website through mobile, then obviously it makes sense to track the rank tracking also from mobile as a core one. But if you're just not sure, or just to understand, just keep desktop or mobile, whichever one is fine depending on your need actually. Most of the websites will not care that they are ranking worldwide for certain keywords, because their target markets could be a one country or a state or even a city in case it's a local business website. So I want to focus my ranking towards that particular geographical location. I can obviously choose that from here. Let me type something so I can show you. For example, I am putting new as a word, and it automatically brings up country data, city data, state data. So depending on my need, I can track for a whole country or a state or a city depending on my need. In this case, I'm just going to leave it as United States for an example. Let me load it up, and I can choose the language depending on my need as well. For example, these are options available for United States. Depending on the country, these might change. And in case if it's a local based business, since Google provide Google business profile, Google business listing, they will have some sort of Google map pack for certain keywords, where you will see some sort of map and you will see Google businesses within Google search results. In case you do have one of Google business profile, you can obviously give the name for your Google business. It will identify, and you can include that into the rank tracking settings also. Since in this case it's just a digital marketing blog, it's not a business, local business, I do not have a digital GMB profile, so I'm going to skip this one. So the next step is going to be the keyword. We have added the URL or the scope, we have added the device we want to target, we have added the uh, regional preference. Now we actually want to include what are the keywords we want to track. Here also, this is just to get started on this campaign. Obviously you can add more keywords once the campaign is created also. So if you're writing a brand new blog article, you might have a new keyword you want to track, you can come back to this project and add more keywords as well. But this is just for starting point, where they have couple of different methods to bring keywords into the project. Basically the manual is basically, in case if you already know what are the keywords you want to target, you can obviously include something like SEO tutorial. I know I'm going after that keyword. If I can spell it correctly, SEO tutorial, maybe digital marketing blog or something like that, whatever the keyword can be, and you can just add the project. And also if you want to tag the keyword, like you want to group the keywords based on different criteria depending on your need, you can do that by following their tip and their filter guidelines. And also if I go into campaign, basically what it means is, in case if I have a separate campaign within my SMrush where that campaign has all the keywords list or something like that, I can bring that data from that particular campaign into this project as well. SMrush is where I use SMrush itself to find keywords for me. I do not recommend this approach, because when you are tracking keyword data or SERP data, Google ranking tracking, you just don't want to go out and track every single keyword, because that's not efficient way. You need to identify what are your focus keyword, what are your target keywords, and obviously track only those keywords so you can keep your rank tracking focus on. So my suggested way is to go through SEMrush keyword tools, organic tools, identify what are your main keywords and bring those keywords into the play, or any external means also, like any additional third party tool or something like that. But in case if you want to bring from SEMrush, you can have several different options. You can from their domain report, adwords for PPC or ad keywords, phrase report, and phrase reported full. For example, I'm going to click on domain report. I can choose my domain and how many keywords do I want to bring in from this report, as I can say go up to 200. In this case, just for example, I'm going to click on 10. You can see it automatically brings in 10 different keywords which I'm ranking, so I can get a more idea on it. In this case, just for example, I don't recommend it. I'm going to add those keywords without checking any of these keywords additionally and add it to my tracking profile. And there's another option as well, which is Google Analytics. Like, I'm not going to show it right now, but basically the concept is, in case if you have a Google Analytics profile for your website, you can obviously connect your profiles to Google Analytics, and it will show you all the keywords which Google Analytics shows within their dashboard, so it can bring those data into this. Here also it's not going to be fully accurate, because Google Analytics won't show most of the keyword data, so you might end up finding some of the hidden gems or hidden potentials, or it might be just a junk data for you. So depending on each of you guys personal Google Analytics profile, the data will be differ. So these are the options available. You can also import it from file. You can see it can be either text, CSV up to 10 MB. So if you have a huge list, you can import it directly from the file. For this sake, I'm just going to leave it at this 12 keywords. It shows 12 keyword, like what is my total limit and how many I'm tracking currently now. And in case if I want to receive weekly updates for this tracking position, I can do that as well. For example, I don't have time to come to every week to check into SEMrush on what is the progress like I just want to get a simple update email every week. I can turn this option. I'm not going to do that. Just click on start tracking. That's it. Now I have set up my position tracking. It will take some time depending on how many keywords you have entered into this column. I'm going to go back so I can show you. It will take some time. You can see it's gathering keyword data right now. So while that is doing, now let's take a look into the site audit function. Site audit means that it helps you to identify health or any errors in your website which are technical. Could be security or misconfiguration or any technical related problems within your website. Site audit tool will help you to figure it out. In order to set it up, you just need to click on setup, and it will open up a pop-up again for you, where basically you set up the settings or audit settings on how it should be crawled when you be doing it for your website. Basically, the first one is something called scope. Basically, you are saying that I want all the web pages and all the resources within this website to be crawled. This will be the most used for most of the people, but in case you have some customization, something like you want to have, let's say for example, I'm clicking on the example, it shows that instead of the root domain, you want only a subdomain to be crawled. You can do that as well. Or if you want to have a subfolder only to be crawled, you can do that as well. So you can see the examples, and based on this example, you can figure it out how you want to set it up for your need. But I would recommend, or for most of you, it will be like just the root domain. So I'm going to keep it in root domain, and this is where the number of pages for the crawl, like you can set it up. I only want 100 page to be crawled, or you can go depending on your need. Basically, this gives the limit for the project to crawl up to maximum this number of website. It can be for various reasons. You can choose different numbers for website load, or only concentrated on few URLs at a time, or you can do all the URL. For example, I can choose something like 10,000 because I know that there is no 10,000 pages on my website, but instead still I can keep it as a 10,000 limit, so I know that all of my web pages is going to be crawled. So I can limit the pages as here, and I can set up the crawl source. Here also it's a bit technical. Most of you guys won't need it because most of you can leave it as website itself, because that is the normal way of crawling the website. But in case if you want to find all the web pages from the sitemap, you can set it up as that as the possibility. For example, rather than directly going to the website and trying to find all the web pages, go to website, find the sitemap within the website, and find all the pages through the sitemap. Or you can give your own sitemap URL. If you want to crawl through the sitemap URL, you can give that. Or instead, if you have a list of URLs where you just want to crawl all those web pages URL you are going to provide and give an analysis on that, you can do that as well. So depending on your need, you can switch it up, but for most it will be just website here as well. The second step is the crawler setting. Here also it's a bit technical, but just to give you an idea, basically every crawler will have a user agent, identifying who's the person who making all this request and everything, where you have something called sidebot. Or sidebot, it might show in your traffic analytics when you are tracking all these visitors for your website. So I would recommend is to keep either Googlebot desktop or Googlebot mobile, in case most of your website or you are concerned about performance issue on the mobile. Choose between one of this. The reason I'm saying to recommend this is that it will help you to, for example, you are doing all the organic stuff because Google is the number one king on search engine market. Most of the traffic is going to be coming for it. So when you are doing crawling also, it's really good to emulate Google, because if there's any problem discovered, that most of the time it will be the same problem Google bot is facing when they are crawling our website. So it's good to keep it as a user agent as Google bot itself to get much more optimal performance when it comes to Google search engine ranking. And crawl delay is something like, for example, when you set minimum delay, it means like it's going to go really fast when it looking for web pages. So if you think it's going to trigger some security measures, or if you don't want to load your website too much, ideally you should not be using this. But most of the time it will be suitable for most website, because if it's a small website, it's going to quickly go through all the pages and do it quickly. But in case if you encounter some issues, you can obviously go for this one, where it's going to be one URL per 2 seconds. So it's going to limit and crawl all the things, but it's going to take too much time to finish compared to something like this. So depending on your need, you can do. And respect also. For example, robot text is something like an advanced technical strategy in SEO, where we can filter out and say that I don't want, you can see, give instructions to crawler or any bot which is crawling your website, instructions saying, I don't want you to go through these web pages, I don't want you to go through these particular folders. You can control your website architecture like that. The reason is sometimes you don't want some of the web pages or sections of the folder being indexed on Google. Can be because of private web pages, or confidential, or something like a dynamic web pages, or any number of reasons can be. Depending on that, if you want to respect the crawler, because most of the something like Google, they will do respect it. So depending on your need, you can set it up here as well. Allow and disallow is also gives you an advanced control. Most of you won't need to use this, but in case if you want to allow or crawl only the pages containing a specific word or link, we call it as a parameter link, permalink. So if you want to do something like, I want to do a scan only on the URLs which containing that word, you can do that. Or you can say, I don't want to do a crawl to any URLs containing this particular word. You can do that as well from here. It also shows several examples on how to use this through here as well. The next one is to remove URL parameter. You might experience this issue in case if you have a e-commerce website or website with something like a directory or a search capability with a lot of filters. You will see that something like a page, and they will put something like, once you set up some filters or search something with filters, you will see something like question mark and filter name and filter value, which typically means that that is a dynamically generated page, obviously. So if you don't want to consider those pages as separate pages, you can set up all those instructions here as well. And here the next one is the bypassed website restriction. Basically means that I'm saying that do not respect robot text or robot meta. Like I told you, right, we can define and say do not do this. It's more like a request to the user, we can't totally control it. So in case if you want our bot to be over go through that and you don't care about those restriction and just crawl everything, you can set it up as you want. My advice, don't do this, because it's not useful for when you are looking for ranking. Because if it's something on Google, a robot text is disabled, obviously Google is also most of the time not going to crawl that as well. And in case if you have a private website or a website is still not available publicly, you just give the username and password when it asks for the permission, and SMrush will use that to crawl the website. And finally, schedule. Do you, if you want to schedule this daily or weekly depending on your need, or just once depending on your need, the reason is once you do this crawl, it will show all the errors for you. So when you keep on fixing this issue, whenever new report is run, you will automatically notice the progress. It will track all the changes being done, so you can get an idea on it, and also you can keep a schedule on it. So ideally I would recommend once every week is really good. You don't need it daily. So just keep it something which is like every Monday or something, which is really good recommended setting for you. And also if you want to receive every time audit is done, you can obviously do that. I can take it off. So once that is done, and let me see what I'm missing. uh, Obviously I'm missing something. Sorry about this, guys. I need to take it out because this is a public website. Once that is done, I need to click on Start Site Audit. Now it will set up the project and start crawling through my website to identify all the technical issues within this. So let me wait until this goes to a different page. You can see it automatically starts working towards it. It's already gone and found 5 pages, and it will keep on finding more pages. I will get back to it once I cover other modules as well. For example, I'm going into the SEO project, and I'm going into the project here, and you can see the next one on the list is like, you can see it has done position tracking, site audit is done, site audit is currently happening. And now I'm going to look into on-page SEO checker. Basically, on-page SEO checker is for the root domain. It will do a on-page SEO analysis and will show all the metrics or factors affecting the on-page SEO score and how you can improve it. So I'm going to click on setup on-page SEO checker now, and let me wait for the wizard to load for this particular one. And I need to give a domain name here. For example, I'm going to click on this and click on get idea, and you can see it automatically opens up a wizard for me. First, I can select the targeting, like which geographical location do I want to target. I can choose the country, I can select region, city, language, device, all this is available. I'm going to keep it as a default and click on continue, and you can see it automatically collects all the data for my if I want to directly import. For example, from my website, it brings up like these are my web page and what are the keywords I will be potentially targeting for this. It's auto import, or I can do a manual where I can mention each of my web page and say that, for example, this could be like digital marketing blog, and say add, that could be a one keyword. Similar that you can do it from file, you can import it. Just make sure to you follow the example document, and according to that you can import and do that. Or you can bring all the keywords from your Google Webmaster Search Console. You can bring all the keyword directly from. I highly recommend you to do this as well. or organic research also, if you want to go through the SMrush database and find all the different keywords and what other keywords you want to bring. In this case, I'm just going to bring, let's say, auto import. Let's see how that works. And I can also control the user agent here as well. I would recommend to check it out, a Google bot, for since Google is our preference. And schedule this, like, also, do I want to recollect different stuff weekly, never get an email update? In case if you want, I'm going to put never, I will be automatically doing this. So I can click on collect ideas. Now it will start doing this on page SEO audit for this as well. For example, let me close this, it's opening it up again, and you can see it has automatically started getting all the data. So now let's see what's the next module on the list, which is backlink audit. And you can see others also completed. I will show in the last section on explanation of all the data you can find within each of this module. In backlink audit is basically means it's one of the useful tool, to be honest, where it can help you to audit your backlinks and identify bad backlinks or spam backlinks, because usually getting these kind of backlinks to your websites can be hurtful for your ranking. So it's always ideal to keep track of all the bad backlinks, and either you can ask the webmaster of that website to removing it after identifying it, or you can create something called a Google disallow file, which will be something like a negative list of all the backlinks or domain, where you can collect it and create a file and submit to your Google webmaster to just to let Google know that these backlinks are not created by me, or these are spam backlinks. I don't want to associate these backlinks to my website. This is really good and one of the most useful SEO tools, to be honest. So in order to do that, I'm first going to set up the project on backlink analysis audit. This is going to open up my backlink audit, and it automatically shows all the backlinks which is SMrush as its data in its database for my particular domain. For example, you can see root domain, the www version or non-www. But if you are unexperienced or not sure which to choose, make sure you always choose a root domain to be good, and then go into the brand settings, and you can specify your brand anchor text or your brand name to get much more in-depth analysis. For example, I'm also going to type digital marketing mind with spaces so I can get an idea on it, and you can see automatically sorry, I think I missed it. Marketing mind, I'm going to keep that as it is. So this is where you keep on adding your brand name for your domain. You can go up to top 10 different brand names, and the next one is the domain category, where you can obviously select a category for your your domain industry you are in. For example, in this case, I'm going to click let's say something like computer, let's see, internet and telecom, computer and something, whatever the thing. The main reason these is used is, like, when they are analyzing the website, it will analyze the type of backlinks you have received also. So it will be a good indicator for them to see if it's coming from a different industry backlinks, then what kind of relevancy is there, and is it relevant to the backlink profile or something like that there. So you choose whatever the industry which is relevant to your particular website. And the second the last fourth one is like target country. In case if you are wanting to focus on specific country sections or something like that, you can always select multiple. For example, in this case, I'm going to focus on United Kingdom and as well as India. I can do that. So once that is done, I'm going to click on start backlink auditing, where now it's going to do an audit of all the 2000 plus different backlinks it has found. I'm going to go into back into the project section of the Semrush and opening up this project, and you can see it is already starting to auditing the backlink. It will take some times depending on your number of backlinks and all the filter criteria. So the next module here is called organic traffic insights, where basically it's Like as I mentioned in a previous model also, like Google Analytics is a great tracking software for your websites. You can clearly see what your audience is doing, what are the campaign goals, how you can measure, how you can optimize it. Google Analytic also used to provide all the organic keywords which the users are coming through their website couple of years ago. But now Google has limited that data, where now it will not show any they have hidden the keywords which the traffic is coming to, so you can immediately see where the traffic is coming from, which are the most important keywords for you, where that might be useful for you, where SEMrush will try to uncover those hidden keywords which are in Google Analytics by combining all the different data. So we can set that up also. For example, when we click on setup on that, now it's asking me to connect to my Google Analytics account, which I'm going to do now. And you can see I have connected to my account. Now I'm going to select the profile for this. And you can see now I have selected all the different profiles data on this particular. I'm just identifying exactly where is my Google Analytics profile is located. And I'm going to select the database, and I'm going to select the location and as well as the device. And once that is done, I'm just going to click on go to organic traffic insights. Now what it will do is it will try to pull up all the data from my Google Analytics to SEMrush here as well. So I'm going back into the next section until this finish it off, which is, let me open up that. You can see backlink auditing is done, organic traffic insight model is set up. The next one is something called brand monitoring. Brand monitoring is most useful to identify any potential link opportunities, outreach prospects, or for online reputation management. So you always know what's happening around in the internet for your particular brand name. It helps you to identify what essentially it does. It monitors whatever the words or keywords you give to this particular tool function throughout the entire internet, from websites to social media, comments, discussion, all the places. So I'm going to set up brand monitoring now, where I'm going to click on setup. It will again open up a wizard where now I can type the brand names I want to monitor. For example, digital marketing, mine can be one, and I can also track my own name since this is a personal digital marketing blog. Similarly, I can keep on adding more different words, and I also make sure to include any of the specific words. So in case you have a couple of different words and I want to make sure that any of these words should also make sure to on that particular page include this particular word, then let me know. I can do that. These gives you more extra control on finding the mention. You also have the exclude option as well, or if you want to focus on a specific country, you do have that option as well. I'm going to untick this as well, and I'm going to click on start tracking. Oh sorry, I forgot to select a country. I'm going to do one. Obviously you can select multiple. In this case I'm just going to go with United States, and you can see this also started. Now let me go back to the next section of the tool to set up. Let me wait for it to load, and you can see this is also get started. Now I go into link building tool. Link building tool is where it helps you to create better backlinks by helping you to uncover all the hidden potential backlink outreach possibilities for your website. This is what it does. It analyzes by the competitor or by your website organic potential and gives you potential outreach targets, where you can send them email even through SEMrush in order to reach them or get more details on them. Let me show you how to set it up. If I click on setup, again it will open up a pop-up window for me, where first it asks me what are my target keywords. Just to give you some understanding, yeah, I'm going to do something like digital marketing, could be SEO training, something like WordPress, help. I'm just going to do 3 different ones, and now it's asking me to give some competitors to that, so it can identify related competitor list for that. I'm opening up, giving some several of competitors. Just for example, I'm going to put SMrush as an example because they do have so many great blog posts. I'm going to do that. Moves as an example, Ahref example. What it does, it will take key potential outreach possibility or backlink potential targets from the keyword and as well as from the competitor list which you provide here, and it will try to identify potential prospects for you. So once this is done, you can go up to 10 different competitors. I'm just going to limit on 3 and going to click on start, and you can see now it started to identify different prospects for me to look into it. It will also start collecting data. So let me move on to the next module to set it up, and let me wait for it to finish. You can see it is setting up right now. Now let me take a look into the PPC keyword tool, which it might not be useful for everyone because this is a key functionality focused on for people who want to do search ads or Google AdWords, Bing ads or something like that, where it gives you more control and some extra features to improve your keyword organization and collecting process for ad campaigns. So in this case, let me click on setup and show you what are the data available within that. So in the first screen, you can add keywords which you want. You have different way of adding different keyword. For example, you can add keywords manually or from SMrush, from text file, a CSV document or from Excel document. Depending on where you have collected the keywords, you can import it. In this case, I'm just going to click SMrush because I don't have a Google Ads campaign for this particular domain. So I'm just going to take a example from here. Let's see if it can bring something. I'm going to do with this, and let me give this digital marketingmind.com/hat, and you can see it found all the different keywords. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to go into the location tab. You can also create different grouping mechanism for different based on your PPC setup. You can set up auto grouping or create a group or one keyword for one group. Depending on that, if you are in PPC, you might understand the importance of it more. And you can also select your location. So where do I want to target most of my ads? So I can do that. You can select the region, city, or this as well. So once that is done, I'm just going to start this project, and you can see it is automatically started to do this. So it's just giving me some instructions on how to understand it. I'm just going to go back to the project section of this demo, and let me show you the next set of tools as well. And you can see this is started. And social media tracker is where you can track your social media accounts in various social media platform to get a better insights on it and to see how you are growing on social media as well. In order to do that, just go into the setup social media tracker. You will be presented into something like that. For example, it's asking which company do I want to track. Let's say I say digital marketing media, marketing mind is the one I want to track. I can click on Facebook and start giving permission for this particular page. Let me do that. Depending on each of the social media, you just need to give some sort of permission in order to connect your page to Semrush here as well. So I do seem to have some profile problem with my Facebook account. Because of that, I'm not able to find my digital marketing mind Facebook page. I will try to see what's happening around, but for an example, I'm going to showcase how you can do that with LinkedIn also, where I have linked with LinkedIn. And once inside that, you can search your brand name once you authenticated it. For example, you can see it bringing me all the different criteria in this. Let me see. Do that, and you can see it automatically identified that. I'm just going to keep it as LinkedIn. I can obviously connect others as well, and I'm just going to click on start tracking companies. Once this is done, now it's going to gather data from the profile it done. Depending on the networks you choose, you will see all the different ones. I'm going to go back into the next module right now, and we have seen we have finished almost. Like the last two remaining are, one is a social media poster, where this is one of the new features of SMrush, where they started to give an option to schedule and manage your social media post and content within from SMrush application itself. That's why I mentioned that SMrush is no longer an SEO tool but more of a digital marketing tool, where it brings all the different sort of functionalities also. Where here it's obviously a social media, it's similar to a social media marketing automation tool and scheduling tool. In order to set this up, you just click on setup. They currently support Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google My Business, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube. And they do say what are the functionality they have for each of this different social media network. These will tend to change depending on the time. They might add new features or they might remove something. So you might see, if you're watching this video on a later day, you might see something different. So in order to do this, you just need to connect whatever the social media you want to work with. In this case, I'm just going to connect LinkedIn and show you an example. And you can see I have added my LinkedIn profile, and it's automatically show you can add more profile as well. You can schedule a post, or you can see a calendar, you can see different options. I'm going to just to click on close this one, and I'm going to show you. For example, this is calendar, where you can see all the posts which you have scheduled. You can go about different posts. For example, clicking on any of this particular plus icon in any of the section, you can create a post here and make all the different, like you can add it to a queue or schedule to a particular different time, publish regularly, like how many times do you want to repeat this particular tweet, post now or save as draft. You can also choose different social media networks here. You can see the preview of whatever the things you are typing. For example, I'm copy pasting this, and you can automatically see how this might look on this particular tweet, or how it will look like on this particular social media post. So you can have all those things from the social media calendar itself. You can see all the different ones. You can also change the color. You can understand the time zone from here. And if you go into the queue, you will see all this social media post which has been queued for this particular date, so you can get an idea on it. So, or if you can want, you can schedule it from here itself. And if we go into the post, you will see all the post related data. Obviously, since I haven't set up anything right now, it's not showing you, but it will show you all the clicks you have gotten for every single social media post it published through SMrush. What are the clicks, what are the interest, if it's Twitter, what are the number of likes or retweets. You will can see all the statistic for these as well from here. So depending on each of the page, you can see a highlighted in-depth social media stats on this section. Content idea is something where you can use this sort of like a curation library to identify what are the contents you want to post. So for example, what it means is it brings up any content from a RSS feed. For example, I'm going to do this. I do have a RSS feed for my blog. So let's just, for example, you can see it automatically identified itself. Let me do that. You can see it automatically even identified my blog. So once I close that, you can see it automatically brings up all the different posts which automatically published every time. So whenever I publish something, where you can add multiple different websites, blogs, or anything like that. Whenever new content is published, it will give me a list here. I can schedule the post from here. I can do the change anything I want. I can do that and publish it. Or if it's not something relevant to me, I can simply dismiss that. So that is what the social media poster, where it's more of like a way to automate your social media posting or content management. So that is what social media poster. The final module before we look into all the data is something called content analyzer, where if I go into that particular section, this is where it gives you more better insights on the content you have on your website. how you can optimize it, what are the content which needs to be optimized. It gives you more data related to that. For example, I'm coming into this and it's automatically asking me which are the URLs I want inside to do the content analysis. So I'm just going to choose the category and the URL without section. You can choose all of this and it shows the limit which is have it for here, and I'm going to click on start audit. Now what it does is it will automatically start doing a content audit for all the different posts within my website itself. In this section also you can do the post tracking as well, where you can take one of the competitor URL, and when you put something like this, now it will keep on track of this as well. So let me wait until this has finished. So when I go back to the project right now, I have set up all the different modules within the project capable features and functionalities. You can see now the dashboard looks completely different to the dashboard which I saw the initially, because it shows all the data from all the different modules. The backlinks model is still working because it has to go through over 2000 something backlink in order to analyze it. Let me go one by one to give you a bit more update on what kind of data you can expect from it. First, position tracking. I'm going into the position tracking and you can see there are a lot of different features for each of this module. For most, it might even seem overwhelming to understand and start using it effectively. So I'll try to give a overview idea on what kind of data you can get and how it's useful. Where position tracking now shows all the different data, like the visibility shows the how much that my keywords are visible within Google, estimated traffic which I'm receiving, what is the average keyword position out of all the keywords I have added, and you can see how many keywords of mine is on top 3, top 10, top 20, top 100, and it's also showing me the visual identification on the ranking distribution. It shows for all the different dates. So since I have just set it up today, it's just showing it for November 10th, but if once as the time progress, you will see data on other sites as well. It also will show me all the top keywords which I'm currently ranking on, and if when there are some keyword changes or ranking changes, since there is nothing now because I have set it up just today, but tomorrow maybe if there's positive, you will see positive ranking changes. If there's any negative, you will see the negative ranking changes. And if you have added keywords based on tags, as I told you to group different keywords, you can automatically see all the different tags on how many keywords inside of each tags, and as a total of that tag visibility estimated, all those stuff. And you can also add your own competitors as well to compare your keyword with your competitors. That is possible. And serve features are showing like what are the different search snippet feature. These are overview. We can get more in-depth data for each of these things from here. So let me show you the overview first, and it shows the top pages which is ranking, and also cannibalization health as well. Let me go one by one. When I go to the overview tab, now it gives me an overview and much more depth with lot of different controls. Like you can see lot of different, it even identify potential keywords competitors for my, so I can directly copy compare it. For example, if I click something like Digital Marketing Institute, it automatically compares my key ranking with that particular competitor. If I want to add one more competitor, let's say do Backlinko, and I can see another comparison between my ranking and that particular blog's ranking. So I can do a comparison, and you can see there are a lot of different sections like the top 3 or top 10, top 20, or what are the different ranges. Based on SERP features, you can filter out the data. Based on the tags you have created, you can do it. Based on the intent of the keyword, you can separate all the different ones. Based on volume, you can filter, or even advanced filters there. For example, you can see containing keyword CPC. So there are a lot of filtration ideas here. And also you can see you have share a voice where it will show the percentage, but it's not available on my plan, but it will show you the percentages of how each of the website is occupying the market date search uh, which search area of that particular industry market, how they are covering it, estimated traffic, average position as well. And you can see here the notes section is there, where it will automatically show any Google updates note or my notes, where even I can add my own note. Let's say for example, in case something I'm doing something major on SEO, I want to track like what I have done in order to get an idea on later, in case if the positive movement appears, I know this is the reason for that. So something like a backlink or created or something major, you can create all these things, you can see all the different ones and create your own note here as well. So that is what it shows. And if I go down, it gives me a in-depth ranking, like all the keywords I did. And you can see I can add more keywords from here depending on my need. There is also several actions, like here also you do have different filters. You can go into this, and table settings gives you much more control on what are the different columns you want to see, and it shows the keyword, the intent, like what kind of keyword it is, and it shows the SERP. If I wanted to see the actual SERP page for this particular ranking, I click on it and it will automatically give me a SERP page of it, so I can identify where is my this is located to give a better understanding of it. And it will show you the SERP features, any extra SERP features which is available on Google for this particular keyword, the position difference, CPC, volume data as well. So that is what you see on the overview column. Ranking distribution is where it will show you the percentages on where you are generally ranking on organic search results. It shows the top 3, top 10, top 20, top 100. It might look simple here, but when you have hundreds of different keywords, then you can get a sense of the importance of it, so you can get a better idea and you can view these data according to your need as well. You can also see the tags, grouping all this data from here. I haven't done anything, that's why it's showing a blank one for me. It will now show all the top popular pages within my website with as more ranking. You can see it shows the total keyword, the intent rate, where how this keyword, this particular page is attracting which type of keyword. It shows that this page is more of a navigational keyword rather than transactional, where something like my Black Friday page is we are 50-50 on both navigational and commercial intent. So I can get an intent is very important. I have created a separate video on my video SEO course, so if you are interested you can watch that as well. Cannibalization data is shown here. You can see obviously there's no date here because there is no problem in this, where it's usually when multiple ranking URLs are going after one single keyword, you will see those kind of data here. And competitors discovery is where it will show you how you're ranked compared to the competitors who are doing the really big. And we can also see the winners and losers profile here. And if I go down, you can see each of my competitors and their visibility compared to mine. Like I have a lot of work to do. It shows all the day, it even identify over 710 different competitors for me. I can go with, I can do a advanced research on it. I can set this particular person as a competitor, so I know always I'm going to track this person also within my ranking tracking also. So all these options are here. Device location is where I told you that you will get another option to set up a different device. When you are setting up position tracking, you can set up different tracking from here using different, for example mobile. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do select this, and I can add a keyword and start doing that. For example, let me do a quick one to show you an example. Do that, and let's add it just to show you that this is possible. And you can see it automatically starts gathering data for that particular keyword which I have just entered, and you will start seeing that particular data here. This is for that particular keyword on where the keyword snippets are located. For this keywords which I have added, there is no keyword snippets, that's why it's not showing any data. So if you are adding any keywords which has a keyword snippet idea, then it will show you all the data here as well. And if I go into this, and let me go into the overview again, and you can see all the different datas here as well. So that is what the position tracking of SMrush does. Let me show the next module, which is going to be the site audit, where the health performance issues for your website. I'm going into the site audit section, and you can see now it has loaded. It shows that it's currently 76 percentage okay, and it shows the number of errors it found, number of warning and notices. Basically, errors are the main thing which you should start focusing on fixing it. Warning is like these could be improved, and notices are something like it's not essential, but just to keep an idea on these do exist. And you can see some other data is also shown here, what are the issues, and crawlability, what is my percentage, the reports, different problems within the issues, and it shows. And if I go into the issues tab here, now I can get in much more in-depth data on what kind of issues happening. For example, first, the biggest one for me is the internal links are broken, which is usually you can fix it quickly, because this is one of the common errors you will see for most of the website. And if you hover over any of these particular sections, they will explain whatever the issues, they will explain the issue and how to fix it. So for example, the problem here seems to be my author profile, which is it's removed. So ideally what I need to do it, I need to go inside this and fix this link, so I will automatically remove all this issue with one hand. So depending on different based on your website, these issues will be different for every single website. So you go through it, you see this particular instruction snippet, or go into the Google or website and search for it and try to fix this. And you can see 6 pages have written this, and it shows how and why should I fix it by this page, and I know how to fix this, and you can see what are the things need to be fixed. So that is where issues, it shows all the different issues. And crawl page, in case you want to see more details on crawl page depth, obviously if you're a beginner for SEO, you might not need to look into it. It's much more advanced on allocating crawl budget and how much importance need to be given for each single URL, but just it's there. And if you need to see a structure of your website, you can obviously see how the content are located, where the content are located, give you a bit more ideas on it. Statistic shows an overview statistic of what kind of percentage is in, what kind of data it's able to find. And if you want to see a graph data, that is also possible here. Compare crawl is where you can compare today's crawl with another crawl which can be happening on a later date. So with this you can obviously monitor all the issues, and in case if you are fixing anything, that also will be updated within different crawls. So all this will be monitored within the progress, so you do know, okay, these are the things identified, I fixed those, and now the errors are reducing, or if a new error arises up, I know how to fix it. So this all section is allow you to monitor your website health and security or technical problems within your website. So that is what site audit does. And let me show you the next one, which is going to be on-page SEO checker. Basically, it's going to give you an analysis of on-page SEO for the website, and you can see what is the total ideas. It shows the strategy idea, backlink idea, and how much it can improve. Like it shows the potential of by implementing these things. So it's going to give me all the different ideas for every single page. I'm going to go into one by one. For example, org optimization idea, it shows if I click on here, it will give me all the different idea for this particular page. It's showing this is done. I need to avoid keyword stuffing in the body by ideally removing this. It also shows the difficulty on how easy or hard to do this, and if you click on any of this, it will show you in a quick snippet example on what it's happening here. And you can see so many positive signs on this page. I need to do a relevant meta description and enrich your page content with, you can see what are the things I need to do, earn backlinks from various link sources. So it will show me all the different potential, sorry about that, backlink prospects where I can try to reach out and get a backlink from it. And if I want to see a detailed analysis, I can go into this and start getting into it. So basically, depending on that, it will give me all the ideas for every single different one of these. And you can also go to the top 10 benchmarking and see what kind of keyword, what was the top content length and referring domain, video usage keyword, and for all the different one, you can get more in-depth analysis. And when you click on this, it will obviously give you more in-depth analysis on how the ranking look like. For example, you can see I'm ranking really very at the bottom, so I can get an idea on what kind of average keywords I should focus on, what kind of task. And the idea task is where it will give you a task where I can start doing a task based on this. For example, backlink task is there, or the enrich your page content. So I can keep track of what are the tasks I need to do, and based on the category all this thing to do, and based on that I can keep focusing on it. So you can see they are still collecting the data. It will be ready even tomorrow, so depending on that you can keep on improving it. So that is what one page SEO checker does. Let me go into the next module, which is going to be, I think, backlink audit. uh, it's still completing. Let me go through the other modules and get back to that. Organic traffic insights is where it's connected to the Google analytic, and if I go into that, it will bring all the data from Google analytic. You can see it shows it's from Google analytic. It shows the new users. There is something wrong with my Google analytic profile. It's select giving me the old domain, but I need to update it. But this is how the data will look like. It will show the users, new users, sessions, page session, average session duration, bounce rate, and where the location of people are coming here. So you can get the data directly within SEMrush, and by connecting this data to SEMrush, it will also give you insights on couple of other places as well. So that is what organic traffic insights does. Let me show you the next one, which is going to be uh, brand monitoring. When I go into brand monitoring, now I have set up several keywords, so it will show you for that keywords how many mentions it found. For example, you can see I provided digital marketing mind, and exactly it shows where it's founded, and you can see it's highlighting all the different places. It shows the authority of the domain name. It shows when it was found. Depending on the time it found recently, it will show you all the different ones, and you can find all these things. And you can also go into statistic and get the statistics of where my links are there, portions mention, what kind of estimated reach is their domain traffic. Again, since the domain is very small or low SEO power, you are not seeing much data. But as the campaign grows, or you are doing more powerful SEO for much more powerful SEO domain which has SEO power, then it will make more sense, because it will be bringing more relevant data for you. Resources is again where you can track a resource here. For example, I can do that, and I can give an external domain and keep track of that as well. To depending on your need, you can collect that data. And about is basically it's give you is explanation of what it's doing, so you can get in a better idea on what kind of data you can see from this particular functionality tool. So that is what brand monitoring does. And let me go into the next one, which is going to be link building tool. Link building tool is where it will try to identify better prospects for your backlink campaigns to reach out and get a backlink for you. And you can see domain prospects. It found this much of prospects from competitors and keywords, and you can see it's still in progress, so I won't be able to show in depth. But let me go into the prospects and show all the different prospects. You can see it shows these are different prospects where they are linking out to my competitors, so I can ideally try to reach out. There is no automation, guys, like one click it's not going to create backlinks, because it does not work that way. It's just going to give you a pointer and say these are the data you need to know, where the rating is there, what you should do. You have to reach out to them. You can see add a comment, so for the personal monitor, then based on that you go out and reach out and create this particular backlink. You can also see the backlink outreach strategy, because the reason is you can even reach out to backlink from here itself. For example, I'm going to do in progress. I'm going to select that into a progress. I'm going to do this into a progress, and you can see I have selected two backlinks. If I go into in progress, I can start emailing them from here itself. For example, if I go into this, and let's say for example this is going to be a guest post request, this is going to be let's say product review. You can also create your own templates as well, like you can create your own outreach template or customize one of these outreach templates depending on your way of reaching out to them. And depending on them, you can click on contact, and it will automatically find all the different emails it has for this particular person website. So depending on that, you can select and you can write and send a email here itself. You can also set up a follow-up email from here. So it makes the whole link building process really easy. So again, if I go back, what will happen is it will also keep track of all the progress of the email. So within this section itself, you can reach out to them. You can add a private comment to them, like contacted waiting or something like that. And you know what it's doing and all the reason. And once you gain the backlink, when you click on this done mark, it is going to go into the acquired section of it. Now it will start monitoring all the backlinks. For example, if I go into it, I can see that it already starting to monitor this backlink. It finds shows all the different one. So depending on that, I can do a bit more research as well. So again, it's going to take all the different I can track my, sorry, I missed it. I can track my own backlinks also from here. You can see whatever the link in progress, it didn't find any backlinks, that's why it pushed back into the in progress. But in case if I found anything, it will come back to it. Here I can monitor the validity, or whenever the link goes live or something like that, I can keep track of all the different ones from here. So that is what the link building module does. If I go into the next one, which is going to be PPC keyword tool, again it's going to be one of the simple one. There is not much data points here. I'm going into this project and opening up that data, and it automatically gives you the data which you might need to export into Google AdWords campaign data. It provides negative keywords list. You can do that. You can also do the cross group stuff. I'm not much experienced in it because I'm not experienced when it comes to PPC, but for anyone who's experienced in PPC might be able to understand it much better. And you can have the different grouping option as well, and as well as you can export it and change the match to a broad, phrase, exact, and modified broad. So those are the PPC keyword tool data you can get. The next one is going to be the social media tracker, where I'm going to open up that social media tracker and I'm going to see all the data related to my particular pages. So it shows number of followers. Whenever I make a post, it shows all the thing. I can also add my competitors to compare with my competitor on how the engagement is like. You can see I can add a competitor from here. So depending on the need, I can go and start adding competitor, and each of the page, whenever I edit, it will show all the different data, how I am growing it, followers trend, all the data. Depending on what kind of page you are adding, you will get more data relevant to that. Here also it will be self-explanatory. You will get much more in-depth insights on each of these social media pages, so you can compare and how you can grow from that as well. So that is what social media tracker does. And if I go into the next module, which is going to be let me wait to open it, social media poster, I have already explained in thorough on all the functionalities of it. Content explorer, I'm just going to open up and show you what kind of data you can expect from it. And you can see it brings me all the different content and number of pages. As I mentioned, if you connect it, you will get more content idea. You can go into the post tracking. You can track a specific keyword idea, and also, for example, whenever you click on something, you will get much more better understanding on what kind of stuff is happening, like what kind of backlinks it has. When you connect Google data, it will show you that, and you can move forward through that year itself. You can see it's not analyzed. Do I want to mark it as progress? It just gives you a better understanding of it. You can also do better filtering also from here, where with the manage column you can do different identification of that. It's still not analyzed, so it will be taking some time. So depending on that, you can keep on doing a much better thing. For example, I can click on poor content and it will automatically show all the poor content within my website, so I can mark down and I can start fixing on that content as well. So that is what content analysis does. And let me go into the next one, which is going to be, okay, now we are on our last module, which is the backlink audit. It took over 45 minutes, to be honest. That's why I had to pause the video, and you can see now the report for the backlink audit is done. If I go into the backlink audit section now I can get more details from it. For example, the goal for the backlink audit is to monitor toxic or bad backlinks which could affect your SEO, off-page SEO process. Basically, it shows the overall toxicity score, where currently my site is very healthy, to be honest. The backlink profile, you can see there are over 95% of backlink which are non-toxic, and only 3% or 3 backlinks are toxic link and 4 potential one. And it will show you the overall review here, and it will show you the total number of referring domain. It will show you the total number of analyzed backlink. And also, if I connect my Google search console, it will bring more data. I would highly recommend you guys to connect that as well. And also it will should give you all the overview chart of this as well, depending on each day. And since I have just created the project, you only see one day, but as the time progress, you will keep on seeing this data for every day. And you will also get backlink review. You can also contact webmaster directly from here and automatically monitor those approaches as well, because there are two ways to remove bad backlinks. One is to contact the webmaster of that particular website domain and request them to remove that backlink, or you submit a Google disallow file. Because if you are contacting someone and they are not responding, or they are not fixing or removing the link, then there is no other way to remove the backlink, right? So in that case, you create a Google disallow and automatically ask Google to not to consider those backlinks. And it will also give you the top 10 under referring domain with their category on how they are placed, and also domain categories, authority scores, like where my most of the backlinks are coming from, what kind of authority is mostly spread out, so I can get a much better idea. I also get top anchors used and top target pages attributes, all those things. All of these are basically, as I mentioned, summarized of all the functionality which we are going to find out through here. If I go into the first tab, which is the audit tab, where we automatically going to have a checkup and see which are the bad links or which are the good links. To identify that, you can see automatically it shows all the different one, and if I hover over it, you can see what kind of score it's giving out, what kind of toxicity score. So these three are the most toxic kind of backlink it founded for my site. So it can see based on the color, this is the potential one, where this is actually a good one because it's a podcast website. So I can select this move to whitelist, and I can automatically say this domain itself is a good one, and I can whitelist it. So I know that this is a really good backlink for me. So I can do these kind of changes here automatically. Wait for this to refresh now, and you can see it has been automatically moved to the whitelist also. Once that is done, now I'm into this, where this could be a bad backlink, I'm not sure about it, so I can go into that and see it. And if I see that is actually a bad backlink, I can move to a disallow, or let me show you one. Let me move to the remove list. I want to do that, move to the remove list, and I want one to make a disallow list. We can do both of this approach. I'm going to show you an example of each one of these as well. And we do have a lot of filters here also, like in case if you have thousands of backlink, you can't go one by one. In that case, you can use this toxic markers, like for identifying various bad backlinks on what, let's say for example, I want to identify all the backlinks which is as a malicious content, then I can click on it and do this thing. So you have this option as well. You have other link attribute option, like do you want to concentrate on follow links, which is the most powerful backlinks, or no follow, sponsored, UGC, or this option as well. You can control by the toxicity score as well, anchors, category, authority score, link type, all these options are available for you there. And also you can see, you can also create a comment for it in case for any sort of reason you want to manage a content. For example, this is an event which I am sponsoring, so I can do that, like event sponsorship, and I can do that comment or whatever the comment it could be. You can make that and save it. Then it's a visual reminder, you know, that there is a commented here. If I click on it, I can actually see what the comment in a later time, so I can get a better idea on it. So that is what in Audit. Now if I go into the remove section, you can see I have added one remove section here. So I can automatically see that there is no information. So I can try to send an email for this particular founder. You can see it automatically tries to find an email. In case it couldn't find a proper one, you can obviously find an email outside Semrush and bring that data here, and you can automatically customize this message or use the default one, and you can send a remove message to them. If it's still not working or if still not getting removed, then possible cases you can disallow this email link as well. Like you can select it and click on disallow. Now it will move this particular backlink to the disallow, where if I go into the disallow section, and you can see now there should be the disallow link is here. So what it happens is we add backlinks from these sections to the disallow, and it will automatically, we can export a txt file, and we need to go into the Google search console disallow feature for this particular website. You can see we can select the website and automatically export this sheet. Then what we'll do is it will automatically mark out and say that these links don't consider when looking for SEO benefit. So that is what disallow does. And lost and found is where basically it shows all the backlinks based on their status, like whether it's a brand new backlinks which got found, or broken backlink, or lost backlink. So depending on your use case, you can identify, and if it's something like a lost, you can obviously try to reach out and say that I added link, it for some reason is lost, maybe can you check it out. So you can do that as well from here. Broken link is same. In case the link is broken, you can obviously find this and fix all those backlinks. And you can see it provides all the different attributes, like whether it's a no follow, new link, and what kind of IP link, all the datas are there, and you can see the anchor text which is coming through. And also you have various different options as well here, and filters options also available. Target pages, where it will now show where for what pages you are getting most number of backlinks. So you can get an idea on what kind of backlinks numbers are you getting for all the different pages, and you can connect your Google traffic to see what kind of traffic that particular web page is bringing to you. So you have this option as well based on referring domain, or you can do it by based on the number of backlinks you are getting for each of these pages. You can see all the different ones are available here. So that is basically what Backlink Audit does. The About Us page just gives you an overview summary of this, and that is how you actually go about and setting up a project in Semrush, where you can use all this data to gather, monitor, and optimize your website throughout the career of the throughout the lifelong of the period, where you do all the SEO optimization, where Semrush projects is one of the core function. There are so many other features as well. If you are interested in checking out that or a full tutorial of all the other features, Make sure to check the link on the video description, and they do also provide a trial link. In case if you are interested in it, please do check it out through my referral link. I will provide both the links for you, but if you decided to choose the referral link on my trial, I will get a small commission, but it does not affect your sales price or anything like that. Once again, thank you so much for checking out this video, and I will see you in another great video. Cheers.